Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you all have an amazing day. We're starting off with the white pieces against a 1991 from Canada. Looks like we're getting another Caro-Kann. I'll never say no to that, you know. I do enjoy a Caro-Kann. Maybe not all the time, but definitely some of the time. We have a different line to it was yesterday, right? I think it was yesterday we had the other Caro-Kann. I don't think that ended up quite well for us. But we've got a takes knight F6, and in response to that we go Queen E2. It's not the only thing you can play. I think B3 and G3 are both playable. Well, you have to deal with the hanging knight first, obviously. But we played Queen E2 here. To cover the knight, after knight takes, knight to D7 will go bishop to C4, and we're just looking to sort of attack this F7 pawn. It may look counterintuitive blocking in your light squared bishop immediately, but the active queen in the center is very much worth it. They have to spend 2 moves to basically get rid of that. Now, if they would have played knight D7 here, knight B D7, we would have had a mate on D6. Unfortunately, they didn't. I think we're just going to go ahead and take this knight. We could potentially go H3. Let's take the knight. Do we want to take the knight? We could just leave everything and play like a C3, D4 idea. Let's go H3, and I actually am tempted to take with the G pawn. That's a wild one, but it's tempting. It's very, very tempting. Or we could throw in the check first and take with the queen. Also very interesting. I actually don't mind that, you know. I don't mind it. Interesting. Interesting stuff. We've got lots of routes we can go sort of here. I think taking with the queen is going to be the more accurate thing to do. Queen D5 we can take with check and go there, or we could play like a D3 or a bishop D3. They go now, C7, and we'll go bishop to C4, like we sort of planned. Yeah. And I think here just a D4 is fine. I don't see a reason not. This has gone sort of more main line. Which I'm not complaining about because I definitely know the main line a bit better. Bishop is fine going there. Usually the bishop goes to D6 eventually, but I think they probably just want to castle. And if they are sort of signaling that they're going to castle, there is potential we could sort of try to get an attack going before anything else, if you get me. So it could potentially go back to D3. For now, though, I actually don't mind an A4, I don't think. I don't mind A4. And the whole reason why I play A4 in this Caro-Kann line is to prevent the immediate B5. And I think I'll just castle too. I think I'll castle as well, you know. H6 seems unnecessary. I'm not really threatening anything. I wasn't going to go bishop G5 anyway. The bishop's better on one of these two squares. F4 is probably the recommended move. For now, though, I think I'll go rook E1. I'll hold off on that and go rook E1. I just want to see what they're doing first. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Okay, and now we can definitely go bishop F4, right? Bishop F4 there. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. Queen takes, bishop takes, C3. Gives us a good position, I think. That's a lot of trades happening at once, but I think it's fine. They go there, so that's hitting 2 pawns, which is slightly irritating. We can defend with like a queen C3 because we have the rook on E4. Or we could give up the pawn. Or we could give up the pawn. Is an option. We could... Is the queen getting trapped if it takes b2? That's the question, really. I think that's the question on everyone's mind. We could go like queen d3, and then queen takes, we go bishop b3. And then the question is, where is the queen going? After like a b1? You do knight takes. No, knight takes. Knight takes, rook takes, right? No, we can't do rook takes because this is hanging. Yeah. Yeah. We could do a b3. Not ideal. Not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah. We've got to make a move as well. I think queen c3 is the only real way to defend both of these pawns. And we'll just have to live with the consequences of knight takes. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. I really wanted to play a c3 to secure these as well, which is probably why an early c3 is good. And then you can think about letting them take this because there are some trapping ideas. They go there. That doesn't seem right. Where are you planning on going? I mean, I have to take this, right? I have to take this. And they go there. We can think about this. That loses a pawn at the minute, though. Can we throw in this cheeky bishop c7? Bishop c7, queen a6. Knight c5. Knight takes, queen, pawn takes. Rook there. Bishop there, there. Then we just go b4. That's very interesting. I don't mind that. Or we could throw in this. I actually don't mind. As you know, we got to do... Yeah, we've got to do it this way so we have the tempo to move on knight. I think. Yeah. Yeah. We've got to do it this way around. And the queen has to go to a6, I think. The queen has to go to a6. And after a knight c5, we're sort of forcing off knight takes. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Rook there. We'll go bishop d6. Queen takes, bishop takes. We hit this rook. So they move this rook instead. There, knight takes. Pawn takes. They're not going to do bishop takes. So they'll go rook there. And then we'll go bishop there. Pawn push. No, they do bishop takes. They do bishop takes. There. Knight takes, pawn takes. This rook over. I guess you could do this rook as well now. This rook over. And then, yeah. So maybe we sack the knight and go for a b4. That's crazy, right? Looking to trap the queen. Looking to trap the queen. I mean, the queen gets trapped. The queen gets trapped, don't get me wrong. But it's it's dubious to say the least. The good thing is after the bishop takes, it goes there. And the knight is covering, unless it gets taken. This is ridiculous. Queen there, b4, threatening b5. So they go rook there. Then we push. So if they take, then we push, then we just trap the queen. So they have to go rook there. Oh, they look to trade off. That can't be right. There's no way that's right. Takes, bishop d6, right? Bishop takes, knight takes. And the knight's free-ish. A6 is complicated, though. We'd have to go b4. I mean, we take the queen. We take the queen every day, right? We take the queen every day. Rook, knight there is interesting as well. Knight there. Stops rook there. And then we're threatening c3, forcing off the bishop. I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind at all. If I can get the bishop versus knight, I think we've got a decent position. Because the bishop's on the outside of our pawn chain. Our pawn chain's like here. And the bishop's on the outside of that. So it's not exactly getting trapped. It's got a bit of room. And we've got some decent files. Oh, I hung a rook. Okay. Scratch what I just said. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, I should have been more careful there. So you probably go c3 there instead, and then go knight there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're down the exchange. We can play down the exchange. You know, we can play down the exchange. We're threatening a pawn here that they're going to struggle to defend. They go rook there. They probably go this rook there actually. At which point we bring the bishop back. Rook takes. Then we go there. We probably just play a c3 actually, right? We probably just play a c3. There's no reason to rush. Except for our clock. That is a very good reason to rush actually. They can't really move this pawn, or they can move it to b6. But again, the question is, what are you actually doing with your back rank? You can't move it. You could go there. Is a good point, actually. Is a really annoying point. No. Our knights... Oh, they go there. See, I don't like that for them. That just gives us a free pawn, right? You go there. Well, I'll just go there then. And we can stick either of these on there. The bishop's a bit more flexible, so we probably put the knight on a3. But then again, we need to defend b2. A rook can do that, right? Nah, they have two rooks, though. They do have two rooks. You go there. Okay. Well, we'll just move back. And we can go on b4. We can go on b4. We might be get kicked out eventually by this knight. But we have to probably start pushing pawns then. We're only down 1 point of material. We are only down 1 point of material, to be fair. And one slip-up's all this will take. We'll just keep developing. Put a pawn on f3 to stop the knight hopping in on these squares. And if the knight comes in this way, then we just have to be a bit more careful. As long as we're stopping their knight infiltrating, their rooks are, like, I don't want to say it too early, but a bit paralyzed. A tiny bit paralyzed. We need to get the king in the game a bit. Yeah. because they don't have much to actually do with these rooks. So I don't know if it's that bad. I don't know if it's that bad. We would like a G4 push here. I would very much appreciate. So we're going to do that. As long as we keep the F pawn here, I don't mind. We can look for a bishop there, reroute and pin the knight, or not. Okay. Let's get the knight in the game then. Let's get the knight in the game. Try be tricky. That's what knights are made for, aren't they? So we might as well try to be tricky. Rook there's a huge mistake, because we just go a3, right? And then knight b4 to lock in the b pawn. This rook's not going anywhere. We ideally want to sort of swap places with these pieces. Maybe, maybe not. We'll go knight there. Stop the pushing of that. Look for this fork as well. Seems annoying. We can also go this way. We could potentially push c4. I don't know about that one, though. I don't know about that one. They go there. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess bishop c6, just kick the knight. Just kick the knight. I'd trade off the knight there. I think that's a deal. I'd do. We might be playing for a draw. I don't mind playing for a draw, though. I don't mind playing for a draw. And then we'll go bishop there. Stop the infiltration. Rook e2 if we need to cover b2. I'd like to hit this pawn if possible. With the king or the rook. Obviously we can't hit it with the bishop because it's on a light square. We'll go king there. Stop that. I'd probably trade off one set of rooks. I probably need to trade off one set of rooks, to be honest. And then just sort of shuffle. See what happens. We can move the king up, actually. They go there. Let's go there. It's probably not a good idea, but I don't think it's a necessarily bad idea either. Get the king through here, potentially. Or not. We will get the king through this hole then, potentially. Yeah, that's annoying. We can't stop losing that pawn. We have to go there. Go there. We have moved to spare. Which is good. We have moves to spare. Ah, you go for that. That's clever. That's clever. I have to go there. There. Yeah, this is lost. This is lost. Unfortunate. Yeah. That's dropped us below 2,000 as well. Yeah, just that bishop. I missed I missed that my rook was hanging. That was a good game though. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Let's have a gander. Let's have a gander. 77.3 versus 82.5. 1900 versus 2150. So strange move order in the opening. I did think this was the right move, but I think h3 is just as playable, and then queen takes is the right move rather than pawn takes, which is interesting, but at the end of the day you're just weakening your pawn structure for no real tangible reason. again, all okay moves. They're not going to be the best because the move order is weird. But you can see that the eval bar is jumping, but like half a pawn's worth. You know, this put a bit of pressure on. I think this move was probably a mistake. It wants a5 just to like full stop the queen coming in. And this pawn's doing the same job as if it was on a4. In fact, it's probably better because if they try this, we en passant instead. And if they take back, like there's nothing else that can immediately hit the pawn. Whereas if we did it this way and they go this way, you can see, although it doesn't work right now, the pawn's immediately hitting the bishop again. Ignore the other stuff on the board. I was trying to make a point there. Yes, and then c3 is the way to defend this. And this is actually slightly better for white, apparently. These general ideas happen when the queen takes the pawn on b2. It's looking to get trapped eventually. I think bishop b3 here works. Oh, no, they take the knight. Yeah, so you have to go bishop d3. And then the queen's trapped. I wondered how you covered those. Yeah. 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 No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Like, I'm always aware of the idea of giving up the b pawn to trap the queen. Whether I see if it works or not is another whole question. But yeah, this bishop d3 move's nice because you're still hanging on to the knight there. Because you move the rook away from the defense of the knight when you hit the queen on b1. So we go c3, and apparently that's minus 1.1. This I thought was a mistake, and it's just figuring out the continuation, I think, and it wants a5 does the computer. And you've got to ask where is the queen going? You go to b5. I think you've got knight d6, right? Forcing takes, and you hit the rook. Rook goes there, and you probably go to d4, maybe? No, because then you hang the pawn. So you just go to d2, and again you give up this pawn with the not the trapping of the queen though, because queen takes. Yeah, and then rook takes. And then you take that. And claim this is even. Down a pawn. Ooh, that's spicy. That is spicy. What is the best move? Yeah, queen d2. Wow, crazy stuff. Crazy. Queen b4, we get, I think was good. We missed this hit. It was just tunnel vision on these two pieces, sort of figuring out how to avoid them getting sort of trapped with the hit on the knight as well. But c3 is just a crucial little tempo. The bishop goes back to e7 because otherwise you're just sort of hanging it. You could take the knight here, apparently the best move, and then after takes. You play this apparently, which is fair enough. See, I'd be doing this, but then I guess b6 comes, and you're not as nice in that situation. So the best move is you just go here and you let them take. That's insane. That's truly insane. Not that. You go to b4. Covering this pawn still and attacking. They can't kick you out with a b3. So what do you do here? I mean, you're even on material, but it looks nicer for black, I must say. Yeah. What do you do? b3 doesn't look nice. You do give up this pawn, but once they move, you can collect the e pawn. If you actually click the right button. Yeah. Knight takes, yeah. And I thought potentially this is playable, but I mean, you're down in exchange for no compensation. Your pieces are messy up here. Because we wanted to get the bishop off for this knight. So yeah. I want to see if the bishop goes back to here. Then you do actually go knight here, yeah. And you've got the same problem. They don't have much to do with their rooks, but your pieces are messy. So it sort of balances out, I think. Yeah, they give us a pawn to open up the position, which is a completely reasonable thing to do. We try sit the bishop and knight tidy, defend our king side. We are... apparently this is a bit drawn, because we get g5 in. Is g5 really that important? I guess it stops the knight coming in this way. I didn't think it would be that crucial, to be honest. The knight comes in. Yeah, we trade off the knights. And I thought this was potentially... I mean, I thought this whole thing was potentially drawish. You know, it's a bit of an up and down. It really, really wants g5. I don't understand that at all, to be honest. I really don't. Yeah. Sort of forces off a trade of rooks here. Apparently you don't, though. You still go g5, which, again, is insane. Insane that you just let them double up here without any consequences. Yeah, really, really insane. Trade off. And trading off... No, it was just this rook move, which seems like the most logical human thing to do, and it's just the losing move, which is absolutely ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. It's just g5. It's insane to me. It really is. Rook b8, and you go... Yeah, and apparently, because if they double up, I guess you have this sort of tactic. Where you're looking to sort of hit this. But surely they have like checks here. Oh no, because the bishop covers h2 at the same time. I'm not on it with the bishop covering moves today, am I? I don't know how diagonals work. I don't know how diagonals work. We got g5 in, apparently too late for the computer to like it. And yeah, there's just nothing we can do here, because we're bound to A, stopping the king getting in, B, stopping the rook hitting this pawn, and C, tying the bishop down to this pawn. And because these are so far away from each other on different diagonals, blocked by the pawn chain, you require 2 moves to actually defend this. So you can't go from one to the other every move. You've actually got to do 2 moves to defend, swap what you're defending, which makes a lot of trouble for the defense, and is the reason why we lost. You see here, because the king came round quite cleverly to block off this d6 square, which is a square I need to defend this pawn, both of these pawns. So I can't go there. Now the rook's free to come behind and go to b1 and hit this, which is just pretty nasty. There's not much I can do about it, really. So then we just down 2 pawns at this point. They cleverly sacked the exchange while the king was nearby. Really good timing with that. Really good timing. And then it's, you know, there's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it but to promote and then mate. Or mate with the pawns, even if you are in the situation to do so. Anyway, back below 2,000, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not panicking at all. It usually happens, to be honest, when you hit a milestone or something. You do slip below it. You know, I'm used to that. I've played chess for a while now. I know what it's like. It happened when we reached 1700. It happened when we reached 1800 and 1900 as well. You know, you slip behind a few times, and then you get more used to the level, and you'll keep going. You'll keep going, and hopefully win some more. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked, and I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye bye.